Okay, well, good morning, everyone, and good afternoon, because it's some of you are in Eastern time zone, and some of you are in some time zone that's only a hour apart. So we're going to have a little fun today. I like doing this particular class every so often. First, for those who've never had a chance to experience it, and a lot of times it's kind of interesting because we have a lot of people that take the class over and over again because they keep forgetting everything that I teach and learning how to memorize a song. But as soon as the class is done, we'll take just a couple minute break, and then I'll finish off with several holiday tunes for you. All right? That's why I called it a mini concert, because starting next week in December, we're going to have a lot of Christmas and holiday programs and classes and things like that I'll announce at some point. So I don't want to give all the holiday music at one time. But anyway, so I think I'll start off with a little something. I'm going to start off with a quick little holiday tune, and then go into the song that's featured today. Okay? Are you ready? Get set. On your marks. Get set. Go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I thought I'd start off with a little holiday too for you. So, When the Saints Go Marching is the song that I'm featuring. This will work on any song. I tend to use, there's a reason that I use this song actually, and it's part of what today's class is. Now, everybody should have the handout, and at the very top of your handout, what's the first thing that it says? Warm up with a song first that you are comfortable with. Any of you, show of hands, any of you ever have a song, you open up the book, and you just feel like, well, this one I kind of do pretty easily, right? You have those songs that you feel like that? Yeah, some hands are raising. You ever have a song that you do that with, and you go, and just no matter what you do, it's not going the way you want it? It's like, that's the tricky song. Well, there's a reason that I mention that, because there are hundreds of songs out there that you love, and some are easier than others. The thing that most people do, including myself, we fall in the trap sometimes of opening up our songbook and jumping right into that song. And no matter what you do, it just is not going the way you want. If you've ever seen like a symphony, whether on TV or in person, you ever notice before they play what they're doing? You hear all these weird sounds. They're kind of getting their warmed up, right? And some of them are doing this and tuning. And what they're doing is they're getting themselves ready. And I bet you before the show, before they step out on stage, or any band or a musical act or what have you, that does, I bet you before they go on stage, They're playing their guitar, trumpet, horns, whatever instrument they're doing. Singers, they tend to do certain exercises before they go on because they don't want to go on stage and then it doesn't go well. So warming up before you do something that might be out of your comfort zone is extremely important. Okay? So I always say, if you're going to do something like this and it's a little tricky for you, or you're not used to memorizing songs, and because there's a little bit of a focus. First, open up a songbook and play some songs that you do well. And I don't care if it's a song like a Mary Ann or whatever the case is, songs that your fingers get warmed up. Now, some of you had an opportunity to hear me play the guitar. I want to say a few months ago, and I actually recorded it. And typically, I've been playing the guitar since 1986 or 7. I was 16 when I got the guitar. So if I had a guitar in hand right now, I probably would be able to play something relatively well. But if it's a song that's a more challenging for me, I won't do it. Even when I played here for a small group, before everybody showed up, I actually played that song a few times through because there was a little bit tricky. There were parts that were tricky. Even after playing 30 years, I wanted to make sure that I was warmed up. Okay? So I can't emphasize enough. I put that at the top. Before you learn a hard song or do a new technique or something, warm up to some songs that you're comfortable with. It could be 2 or 3 songs. It could be one time. Just get those fingers moving. All right? Now, in your handout is probably blank on line 1, yes? Okay. Let me tell you what to fill in line 1. On line 1, first thing in learning to memorize a song is song selection. Write the word song selection. On the blank line it says 1. Okay? And then there's A, B, and C. First of all, if you're not used to memorizing a song, I think the first thing that's important, most people think something I really like may not be necessary because I really like the song Tico Tico. But if you ever seen the notes on Tico Tico and heard the melody, it's a really hard song to play. In fact, I still haven't learned it yet. I think in 1A, on your line A, the first thing is find a song that's easy. So on line 1A, pick a song that's easy. Okay, now, go through a songbook and pick out several songs. Find several songs that you think that looks easy. It's part of the reason why I chose When the Saints Go Marching In today. Songs like Spanish Eyes, Mary Ann, those level 1 songbooks that are, you could play without looking at the book, and you could do it backwards and forwards. It's so easy. To me, those are the songs that you want to look at. All right? Here's another one. On 1B, this is also important. Pick a song that you're familiar with. So you want to make sure, 1, it's easy. And sometimes you can look at a song and go, this looks really easy. But if you're not familiar with the song, it may not be one that you want to use. Believe it or not, most students that play songs, even if you use music, most people use music, most people that use the Easy Play songs tend to play the song the way they know how the song goes in their head, not so much what they see on the paper. And I have some students that will argue that. I go, well, wait a second. When I use music, I have to look at the notes and so forth. But I guarantee you, there's a lot of the songs, all those whole notes, half notes, you're not going to yourself, 1, 2, 3, and 1. You're probably playing the song, you see the notes, you see the note values, but there's a part of it that the brain is going, this is how you play the song. I know when I teach the classes here, there's been a few songs that I played in class, and I played it exactly as it was written, and it did not sound right. And I'd have to say, play it kind of how you know it, because the Easy Play didn't do it in cut time. They did it in the way that was easy for someone to see. And when I played it, it was like, this song is way too slow. And then I realized it was reformatted for Easy Play. So picking a song that you're familiar with and it's easy is kind of important, okay? And last but not least, the third part to the equation is after you find a handful of those songs, along the way, this is kind of really all grouped into one, make sure it's a one that you like, if possible, okay? Pick a song that you like. So you want it to be easy, a song that you're familiar with, and C, a song that you like. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't all apply, and you may have to sacrifice one or the other. If you had to sacrifice, I would say make sure it's a song you're familiar with and a song that's easy. Marianne, most students don't like the song because it's the first song and they've heard it so many times, and it's a very short version that's very repetitive. Sometimes I say that's a great song to start off with, and then you can put it in Latin. Sometimes I do it in samba. Sometimes I do it I change it around, okay? So now, before I go any further, learning to memorize a song, it's important that you understand, show of hands, how many of you think you have a good memory? Okay, show of hands, how many of you think you don't have a good memory? All right. Depends on what it is, yes. But you know the term muscle memory, okay? Memorizing a song is just like anything else. It's muscle memory. Now, when you go, well, I can't say it to these folks because they're already most of them are at home. But when you leave here today, let's say you're going to drive straight home. How many of you use your GPS to get home? I do. You know why I do? It's not because I don't know how to get there. It's because I like to see if there's any traffic conditions, because the way I'm going, there's a lot of... But most people, when they leave wherever they're at and they go home, very rarely do they rely on their GPS and their maps or what have you, Google Maps or the maps on Apple. And it's very seldom that you have to look at every single thing that you're doing. What street? Now think about the city that you live in. When you first moved there and you had to find the local grocery store, you were kind of looking at every turn. You didn't know where you're going. And once you got comfortable with it, after a while, you just kind of know where to go. It's almost like autopilot. You still rely on the signs and things like that, but you get to form a habit. That's muscle memory. Well, memorizing a song is no different. Okay? In fact...
It's probably in your room.
It's probably in your room. Look real hard. Had nothing to do with the class.
Look in your suitcase. That's where your phone was, or your leash.
Yeah, it's in the suitcase.
It seems like that's the place you guys like to put things.
All right.
Well, if I find it, I'll put it in the fridge for you.
I'll just mute all. It happens. I love it. So if you're in a class to learn how to memorize song, I'm guessing you all use music when you play, yes? Believe it or not, most of you, I won't say 100%, I got to leave myself a little room for just in case. Most of you, 90% or more of you, can read easy play music better than I can. I think you read music better than I do. I know. You use music all the time, you say, right? You use music when you play? Gary, I know you use piano music sometimes. I can't read piano music, hard play music, or, I'm sorry, standard notation. Okay, the notes without the letters in it, I don't read. Now, I can sit there and figure out, every good boy does fine. I can kind of figure it out. You know what I do? I figure it out and I write the letter in there. What I say, students can read music better than I can, even easy plays, because you're used to using it so much. I'm not. When I pick a song to learn to play, I memorize it, but I have to work at it for a while, and I got to work at it, play it, and I play it, and I do all the things I'm going to teach you today, so that when I sit down and play, I don't have to rely on that book. But if someone handed me Chestnuts Roasting, what was that song? Chipmunks Roasting on an Open Fire? Or is it Chestnuts? Chipmunks? Chestnuts, sorry. Every time I play that song, I have to rely on the music. I haven't memorized it. And there's a part of the song that I haven't played enough times that's very tricky for me. So if you said, play this song for me, and you gave me the easy play, say play it all the way through, I'd probably be reluctant to do so. Why? Because I don't play it that very often. I don't read music that often as people think. All right? So you have a little bit of advantage. All right? So there's just a few things about it before we get to the next part. So the first part's kind of simple. Just go through a book, find easy play songs. You know, there's a book out there called Favorite Songs with 3 Chords, or easy something like that. Those are good songs to look through. Make sure it's something you're familiar with, and then you kind of like it. Okay? All right. Now, let's get to the work now. Really hard stuff here. No, it's not. Line 2 on your handout. Let me pull it up on the screen for the folks out there. Line 2 is pretty simple. You're going to write, learn the song in segments. All right? So write on line 2, learn the song in segments. Okay? And I'm going to give you the next part of that, and then we're going to practice here in a little bit. Line 2, A, you're going to play whatever you choose as a segment. Think of that, whatever segment you use in the music as a song itself. Okay? You're going to play that segment frequently using the music. So I'm going to put my music up there. Now, on the music you have, you'll notice it's not color-coded because my printer is black and white, but you will notice on the music, you'll see a short line. Okay? Let me scroll down here for you folks. You'll see where it says, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints. And then you'll see a line, a vertical line that I drew there. You see that there? What I did is I chose that as a segment. That's one segment. Now you may choose to do it differently. It's okay. I'm just making. I haven't done the rest of it. All right. There's a reason, because I don't want to do it all for you. I want to get you started so you go home and rehearse. Okay. So let me stop the screen share here for a minute. So on my music that you have, I gave you a start of what I thought might be good. Now, if you're at home, you can say it. I won't be able to hear you. You can unmute if you want. You could hear it here. What's the first 4 notes? C, E, F, G, right? Okay. What's the next 4 notes? C, E, F, G. Okay. And what's the next 4 notes after that? C, E, F, G. So you can see why I chose that as a segment. So, you know, set up the organ. Obviously, setup is important. Pick a style that you like. Now, I'm going to side note here. If you use a paper, maybe a side note. Many of you heard me say this before. When you're practicing a song or doing something that, your fingers may not go exactly, or something that's going to challenge you a little bit, I always say use a plain old organ sound. Just a good old-fashioned organ sound. And do you know why? An organ sound is very forgiving when you make a mistake. Or if you play a note that you didn't intend to or you didn't want to. You put on a banjo or clarinet or sound that you may really like that, or trombone or trumpet, and you hit a note that you don't want, guess what? It stands out, doesn't it? So I always say, put on just a plain old organ sound. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use, on the organs that have the presets, preset 1, general preset 1, or just on the organs that don't have preset, pick a sound that just says theater organ or jazz organ, and just use a plain old organ sound. All right? Because this is not about making the song sound good. This is about, I want to get to memorize a song, so then when I play it without the music, then I can choose the setup that I want with it. Okay? And then just play that song. So set up your organ, whatever speed that works for you. Pick the tempo that works for you. I'm going to use a Dixieland style, or a style called razzmatazz, a swing rhythm, just something that works for you. It doesn't matter what rhythm you use. What matters is picking the tempo that works. Now I have a style called razzmatazz at 140, Frank and the Count, or let's see, some of the organs have like a standards button, like a swing rhythm, just something like that. 140, and if you think 140 is not good, slow it down. I'm going to caution you. Any rhythm style that comes up naturally fast, don't put it so slow that it's counterproductive. So for example, this rhythm that I'm choosing comes up at 200. People go, wow, that's really fast. But when you hear it, it is fast, but you don't count it like most people hear like this, right? Or you go 1, 2, 3. But now I'm going to put that at 80 and watch what happens. It's dragging, it's going slow, it's dragging. Okay? In fact, it'll make it harder for you to play a song if you do it. So look at the styles of music on your instrument. Styles like soft and easies, those easy 4/4s. If you notice, they all come up at 68 and 70, and and they're designed to be slow. So soft and easy 4/4, 64. Okay, that's designed to be slow. So if you do that at 140, it probably won't sound good. Okay? And styles that are naturally faster are designed to be upbeat. So when you slow it down, don't slow it down so much. I actually had a student once that came to, every semester she signed up for level 1. Over and over for almost like a year. And I couldn't figure out why she wasn't going to level 2. So I said, come on in, let's see. And, oh, no, I can't do it. I said, come on, let me hear. She sat down, played, actually it was When the Saints. She put on her Dixieland rhythm. I said, set it up, do it how you want. She set it up, she put on the Dixieland rhythm, and she put it at the 80 tempo. And she was having a hard time keeping up with the beat going that slow. And I put it at 110, and instantly it was a lot better. And I found in this, and that moment right there reminded me to always point out what I'm saying right now about tempos. So I'm going to use, in fact, I'll use a Frank and the Count. That's a style. It's like a swing, big band swing. It's a standard on the easy products. On the SD products, it's a similar style on the standards. And it comes up at 160. I'm going to bring it down to 135. Okay? That's not too fast. And if you think a little bit slower, but don't go, gradually go slower till it fits for you, but don't go too slow, okay? So you don't want to go too fast and you don't want to go too slow. You want to go about half fast. Thank you. Hold the applause. I had to throw that in there. All right, so you've got your segment. you got the good old-fashioned, just a plain old organ sound. And when I say plain old, you might like the organ sound. It's just really easy. I mean, if you go like this, even if you hit wrong notes, it's not so bad. But if you do something like this, let's see, clarinet, there's a clarinet here. All right, here we go. So if I do something like this and I don't play the right notes, it really is like, ah! That's why I always say, stick to just a good old-fashioned organ sound, and then play that part. That segment. And just stop there and just kind of play it over and over and over and over and over. Okay? You know, you're going to be tempted because if you're playing a song, you want to keep going. Well, that's why a lot of students will memorize songs, because you put on a song, you play it through one time through, and you're like, okay, next song. You don't want to get bored playing the organ. But for memorizing, I'm going to tell you, I have 3 relatively new staff members, 2 of which never really played the organ or piano. They have other musical experience. And they're learning to play these songs. And let me tell you, some of them I'm hearing half the day the same song all day long. And you know what? That's what it takes. I had to do it when I first started. And a lot of times I can block it out because I just used to it, you know. At home, you're probably not inclined to do the same thing over and over. You're like, okay, enough. I'm going to go to another song. We'll come back to that. All right? Now, so let me bring that back up. And I'm on what letter? A or B? Okay, so learn the song in segments, play the segments frequently. Just you got your music, just keep doing it over and over. And 2B is, let's see what it says here.
A is what?
A is play the segments frequently. So you chose a segment to play. Play those segments over and over like you were kind of saying, over and keep doing that. When you play that segment, don't go any further. You're going to be tempted. Don't give to temptation. All right, and then the next 2B, and you see I put some asterisks here. Play that segment, part that you learned without the music. So you play it over and over, and you play it over and over, and you play it over and over. Then you play that. Then this is probably the hardest part about all of this, is that once you've played that one part, and you played it over and over, take the music, put it away, put it down, and try playing the song. Because if you leave it up, you're going to be tempted. Your eyes are going to want to go, oh.
This reminds me of when I studied for exams.
Studying for
I
exams.
had to memorize,
Yes.
and I had to go over and over.
Studying for anything.
It was late
People that
over that.
people that are in plays and musicals, I can tell you, everybody does it relatively the same way. And when I was in high school, I had to learn my lines. I'd say, well done. I repeat it, and I take it away, and I keep saying, I wouldn't read the whole script and go, okay, let me read the whole script again. You're learning it in bits and pieces. Okay? It's actually the same way of learning a script. Now, the first 4 notes in the song, and you can unmute yourselves if you'd like. What are the first 4 notes? C, E, F, G. Okay? All right, I want you to say it with me. All right, what's the first 4 notes? C, E, F, G. Okay? What's the very beginning of the song? What's the next 4 notes? C, E, F, G. Okay, and what's the next 4 notes? C, E, F, G.
G.
All right, let's do it again. What's the first 4 notes? C, E, F, G.
G.
All right, one more time. C, E, F, G. One more time. C, E, F, G. Now take your music, put it away. Don't look at it. Close your eyes. Don't give in to temptation. What's the first four notes? Don't look. C, E.
F, G.
They're doing it in sync, actually. One more time. C, E, F,
G.
and C, E, F, G. All right? And you do that enough times, and you take it away, and you try playing it without the music. And you do that, and you don't do anything else. You don't go to the next step until you feel comfortable with that. Okay? Now, at any time you're doing this, some side notes here. If you feel that you're getting frustrated, it's very important that you stop and do one of two things. Walk away or go back to playing a song that you just like playing, that you're comfortable with. I can tell you, as an organ hobby player, I consider myself a hobby player. What I love about playing the organ and teaching recreational music making is you hear us constantly say, if you're playing a song, and who cares if you make mistakes along the way or play notes that you don't want to play. I don't even like to say the word mistake, because sometimes those mistakes turn out to be notes that I add into the song. I accidentally played a note. Oh, I actually like doing that in there. In fact, when you memorize a song, it'll happen a lot. And you'll find things that you do that you normally wouldn't do. Okay? So, if you get to a point, just go ahead and stop and move on. When I play concerts, I make all sorts of mistakes. You know why it doesn't bother me? Because I try to preach what I say is just keep playing, have fun, who cares? It's not about that. And sometimes I'll even let people know, whoops, I'll do something like that. As a guitar player, on the other hand, when I'm learning to play things, I'm a little bit more serious. I'm at home. When I say serious, I mean I'm not like, but sometimes I'll try to do things that I'm not comfortable with, and I'll work at it, and I'll just sit there forever. And there'll come a point in time where I'm just like, not going right, and I have to stop myself and go, stop, walk away, go pet a dog, do something. And then 30 minutes later, sometimes I come back to it, and that part, whatever I was doing, is a little bit easier. It's very important it's very important that you find yourselves taking a break. If you ever find yourself going frustrated or you want to strangle somebody, all right? Okay, so now we got the first segment down. Now let me see what I got next. Line 3. Line 3 says, now learn another segment. So if you look at the music, so line 3, write in learn another segment or part, okay? And if you look at the music, I have two small lines, vertical lines. Now, this is kind of interesting because there's a little bit of overlapping involved in this, and that's okay. Technically, you can do something like this. You know, your first segment here is really up to the G because of the way the notes play. But your second segment could be from Saints Go Marching In, right there.
Move the line.
Well, you choose, I'm going to say choose what works for you. Because the reason why I say that is because the first note of that measure is G. It's kind of hard to start a second note mid-measure. So I would say the next segment, put a line and start it at the beginning of that measure where it says Saints Go Marching In. In other words, G, E, C, E, D. Okay?
That sounds more reasonable actually because it starts a new.
It starts a new measure as well, but because of the way the first four notes play, I didn't want to eliminate that G, okay? Because it would sound funny if you went C, E, F, G, C, E, F, G, C, E, F. You almost feel like you need another note in there. Now, when you're at home, you're going to choose what works for you. You may decide to make a longer segment. Who knows? All right? Now, so now from here to the short line, learn another part of segment, and then guess what?
Play it a lot.
Repeat what I said in 2A and 2B. Play it over and over and over,
and over.
over and over and over, just that segment, And then do the same thing. Repeat 2A and 2B. And then do the same thing. Once you play that part over and over, so I might start from that measure and go like this. I wanted to keep playing, see, and then I stopped. If you want to just let the rhythm still play, just remember the chord in that is a C chord, so you can just go like this. All right? And if you're mad, if you have a living partner, a spouse, member of the household, and you're mad at them, just this is a good time to try to learn to memorize a song, because oh my God, praise go marching, and praise go. They're going to wake up in the middle of the night going, States go marching and States go. All right, and then, of course, you do it over and over and over, and then you take the music away and don't look, and you got. Do it again. Okay, so the next four notes taking it from that measure are G, E, C, E, D. All right, look at your music and follow my beat pattern here. What is it? I'm going to do what I'm doing. I'm going to practice what I preach. G, E, C, E, D. All right, one more time. G, E, C, E, D. Let's do it again. G,
E, C, E, D.
all right, do it again. G,
E,
E,
C, E, D.
all right, now let's see if we can do it without the music. G, E, C, E, D. Don't look at the music. G, E, C, E, D. And if you feel like you have to, then that means you just have to work on it a little bit longer. But it's okay to pull it away and goof up. But you're not going to be calling the notes out. Keep that in mind. You're going to be playing the notes. And if you don't want to use a rhythm, you don't have to use a rhythm. I used a rhythm, but you don't have to. You can just maybe do the melody. Because the chords, there are not a lot of chords in the song. What are the four notes again? G, E, C, E, D. All right, one more time. G, E, C, E, D. All right. That's yes, you're just going to play the notes. She asked, how do I connect the fingers? Well, you're not going to be doing what I'm doing right now, letters. You're going to be doing that by playing. So you're going to go like this. With or without a rhythm. And if you want to do it with rhythm, then do it again. And then you take it away and then you try doing it. And you're going to be tempted to look up and there's not going to be any music there. Okay? Well, keep in mind, when I'm playing songs without music, I get to look at my hands. That's the advantage. Well, yeah, if you don't have music, because you're using music. But if you don't have the music there, where are you going to look? If you don't have music up here, if we, believe it or not, a lot of us, when we're playing, a lot of us are looking at the keyboard. Oh, yes, we are.
I never, if I do that, when I do that, I get lost.
Yes, because you're using the music.
Yeah, I know.
But if you're memorizing a song, guess what? You don't have to use the music. So now where can you look? You can look anywhere, but do you have the ability to, I'd rather go you saying, okay, geez. Now you can see what you're doing.
Yeah, because I don't know where each
Right.
letter is located.
But that's why I'm teaching you how to memorize a song, so that when you pull the music away, you still have a tool. It's called the keyboard with the letters.
I don't know the key.
And that's okay because you haven't memorized a song yet. But if you memorize a song, guess what's going to happen? Say what, Robert?
Learn the keys and the
You're not going to. You are going, it's going to be a lot easier. Okay, now. All right, let's play those last 4 notes again. G, E, C, E, D. G, E, C, E, D. G, E, C, E, D. Music away. G, E, C, E, D. Now, what's the first 4 notes? What were the first 4 notes? C, F, G. All right. Now, I don't know if you're all looking at music or not, but here's what's the last part to this. Okay? Line 3 or 4. It says, play both segments without the music. Now look at your music. Now if you notice in the music, there's a long line. The reason why I did that is because if you worked on one segment, then you've done the same thing with the second segment, now you put the two together and you create, that's one segment now. That's one segment now. Because you've done it enough times, now what you want to do is take everything up to that line
Together.
and create that as line 1. So looking at your music, look at your music, folks. Let's follow along. Hold on. Follow along. Use your music. Now we're going to do the one segment together. The new one segment is everything up into the long line. Okay, first 4 notes. C, E, F, G. C, E, F, G. C, E, F, G. E, C, E, D. Let's do it again. C, E, F, G. C, E, F, G. C, E, F, G. E, C, E, D. You do that enough times, you're going to know the notes. And if you have the music up here, everybody's rehearsing. They're rehearsing, memorizing. Okay? Now, let me just do this real quick. So now you're going to do one segment. And if you think knowing the letters is going to help you, you can call it out. C, E, F, G. F, G. I'm looking at my hands. C, E, F, G, E, C, E, D. And then stop and just keep playing that one segment, and you're going to do the same process. You now have one segment, and you're going to play it over and over and over and over. Then take the music away. Try it without the music. And if you find yourself partway through going, oh, it's not working, then go ahead and put it back up and just keep working on it. And what did I say? When you reach a level of frustration, do what? Stop. Do something else. Go eat some ice cream. I say go treat yourself to an ice cream cone. Just say, I've worked hard. I deserve an ice cream. Play an easy song. What did I put some notes to self here. Stop and play a fun song or walk away. Do something. Just walk away from it. And just stop. Because the more you do it, the harder it's going to be. Okay? Now, I put a little note here. I forgot I put this. For those of you who have if you have the record feature, if your organ has the ability to record, this could be helpful. And you set up the organ like you normally would, okay, and record. But instead of recording the melody, just record the chords. And record the chords. And what you do is you press record on the organ, and then just start. Oh, when the, and you can just use your music. And oh, when the saints go marching, and then just kind of follow, and we can record the left hand. And then when you go back, you can play it, and the left hand's done, and you can just play the right hand. So it's a neat little feature. Some of you have When the Saints Go Marching In is recorded in a lot of organs and USBs. You can play it back and turn off the melody, and you play the melody. And the band will do the rest. And then you can do the exact same technique I'm doing, because let's face it, a lot of the easy, if you're picking an easy song, more than likely you're picking a song that has C, F, and G, and sometimes no F. All right? The chords don't change. There's not much to remember there. The melody is the one that always gets tricky. And then, once you get to the one segment that you've done it enough times, then you repeat. You pick another segment that works for you, and you learn that segment. And once you feel comfortable with that segment, then you put it together, because you're gradually turning it into, eventually you're going to have one segment, which is the song. Okay? So you could see why I chose a song like When the Saints. In fact, some would say that it's even a little bit too hard of a song to do this with, but it's a song we're familiar with. The reason why I like When the Saints, I even warm up with it a lot, I've played it for over 30 years, so much without the music, that I can do all sorts of things with the song that's not written in here. And that is a function of memorizing a song. It'll naturally happen. So when I play the song without the music here, notice some of the extra little things that I do. It might be the way I play the notes a little bit differently or something like that. Well, why? Because I memorized it. I played it so many times for 30 years. If I play it exactly as it's written, it's pretty boring to me. So I want to add little things to it. And it'll just happen naturally. Okay? So I'll play the song without the music. Hopefully I got it all down already. All right? And I'm going to use, you know what? Let's see. I started with Razzmatazz. I'll do, we'll do Dixieland. I'll do Dixieland. I'm going to speed it up to 160, I think. I'll speed it up a little more. All right. Now, once you're comfortable with playing a song without the music, then you can worry about the sound. Now, I said use an organ sound. It's very forgiving when you're doing that. But when I want to play it like this with a Dixieland, I want to use sounds that you would hear in a Dixieland band. If you want to do it as a big band, I want to use those sounds. But don't go there until you're comfortable playing the song without the music. And then another little thing you can do that's not in any of my notes is try doing it, having the music up, not looking, look at your hands, not look up, and do it both ways until you get comfortable. Okay? So here we go. I'll start off, I'll play it kind of as it's written first, and then I'll play it another time through a little bit differently. Hold on. So this recording comes through. I'm just going to mute you all for a moment. All right. folks. And believe it or not, that's all it is to memorizing a song. But I got to caution you, what's most important is what I told you in 1A, B, and C. The first three, don't. Oh, what is there in number 4? Oh, number 4? Yes, number 4 is this. I kind of said it, but I didn't make it stand out. 4 is play both segments without the music. So on 3, it's learn another part or segment, okay? And then you're going to repeat what I said. You're going to, with that little short segment, over and over. And then when you have that down, then you're going to play both segments together. So 4 is really play both segments together. Now, as you're going, what's going to happen is you're going to create another segment, and you're going to learn that part, and then you're going to put it all together, and it'll be one, and the goal is to try to play it without the music. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is these notes, I know you probably all took really good detailed notes. I am going to post it on Patreon as well, so you have these as well, okay? All right. I think what I'm going to do is jump right into some music. All right? Yes.
When you played, I noticed that you added some notes.
Right.
What were those? Were those blue notes or what?
No, so I did that on purpose because what I wanted, when I played it the last time, the very last time around, I added a bunch of the little things in there. Here's what's going to happen. If you can learn to play a song, especially like this, where I use Dixieland and swing and jazz, if you play the song without the music enough times, what's going to happen over time is you're going to add notes to the song that you don't intentionally do, and you're going to like it. That's how you learn. That's one of the steps in learning to, I'm going to say the word improvise, adding little notes to the song. You know, I played it both ways. The first time around was just as I remembered it. The second time around, instead of, oh, when the saints, I went da 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 da, the same notes, but I played them a little differently. Now, if I did it again, it probably wouldn't be the same way twice. And that just happens naturally when you learn to memorize a song. In fact, there are some songs, All of Me, for example. I remember I taught a class featuring All of Me, and I had the music up here, and I went to play it. I had a hard time playing it. You know why? I memorized the song, and I played it so much without the music. Over time, I must have changed it slightly, the way that the easy play is. And so when I tried to use the easy play, it goofed me up. I was like, oh, that's not how I play it. So it'll naturally happen. That's why I say start off with some of those easy songs. I like songs that are a little jazzier and Dixielandy and that kind of stuff because those are the things you learn to do little extra notes in there from time to time. Okay?
Robert, at some point, will you do,
Yes. What's that?
at some point, will you do a left hand, the chord choices? I mean, this has only got 2 chords in it, but
It only has 3 chords in it, right. That's why I like it. So now there are some things you can do if you want to change the chords in a song. That's what she's asking. If you want to add chords, you can add chords to the song. I'll give you a little trick that anybody can do right away. Because I'm looking in the class here. There's some newer students, and some of you I know. Here's a little trick that a lot of us teach to students. I call them married chords. Okay? Anytime you have a G chord, if you ever, in any song, and it's, well, no, let me rephrase. If you're playing a song in the key of C, okay, and you come across a G chord, if you replace it with a D minor, you can replace a G chord with a D minor, but make sure on the following measure you add the G. That's something you can do right off top. A lot of times when I teach a song, an arrangement like this, I'll add other chords. But today is about memorizing the song. The last thing I'm going to do is say, add all these chords to it. It's too much to remember. But it's just a little trick for you. We all do it. A lot of times we have a song we're playing, and it calls for a G chord, you know, so something like, all right, so watch. And now listen closely. Here comes a G chord. Here's a G. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of the G, I'm going to play a D minor, but then I bring back a G chord immediately after. That's the trick. D minor, G. See how that worked?
Notice the difference.
There is.
If you have a good ear.
Yeah.
It seems to be more smoother.
It's just different. It just and you can do that with so many songs, like Spanish Eyes. Watch this. One more, and they'll play some. All right, right here. That's a G chord. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to add a D minor. Turn up the left hand a little bit. G minor, D minor, G. So you can do that in a lot of places. The trick is, make sure if you replace a G with a D minor, you got to bring the G back, because they're married. That's why I call them married chords. Relative, yes.
Sometimes I play, even if I'm reading and I make a mistake and I don't play the actual chord,
Yeah.
and I play something else, and it doesn't sound bad.
Right. So, well, I'm going to tell you, you just brought up a very good point that I already said. She said sometimes she plays and showed a chord that wasn't intentional, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, wait, that's not too bad. That's a good thing, and quite frankly, that'll happen a lot once you get a song memorized. Now, here's the last thing, and I want to play a few songs for you. This is really important. When you learn, if you notice, a lot of the songs are in the key of C. You'll notice a lot of songs are very similarly written. And so, for example, Alley Cat. All right? I'm going to play it faster than normal so you could hear this. Here's the song Alley Cat. Okay, that's the first part. Here's the second part. Are you ready? It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you learn a song like Alley Cat, or a song like it's what's called an AABA format, it has a verse, and then there's like a bridge or chorus, and then it repeat. Once you learn one part of the song, sometimes you've learned 3/4 of the song. And then the next part goes like this. Oops, I remember how to play it. And then it goes back to. See, and a lot of songs are like that. Sentimental Journey. Gonna take a sentimental da 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 da. Okay, and then it goes through, and then the second part goes like this. Gonna da 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 da. It's the same melody. The lyrics change, and then there's. Oh, I actually intertwined two songs, didn't I? I did Sentimental Journey and Alley Cat. But anyway, they're all like, there's a lot of songs that are like that. So once you learn a few songs that you memorize, you're going to find yourself learning other songs the same way, and they're going to be very similar. The trick is that when you get into a song that's in the key of F, because then it changes a little bit. All right, I'm going to play a couple holiday tunes for you. I'm going to play 3 of some of my favorite songs, and then I have a couple announcements to make. Let's see. Oh, actually, I do want to tell you. No, I'll come back. Let's do this. Let's do this. Here we go. Lourdes, you may like this setup. You can text me later.
Okay.
Here's a song that I like to play with this style. Thank you, thank you.
Music's great, but you're out of focus.
Uh-oh, I know what happened. My phone got out of focus, didn't it? Yes, that means someone tried calling me.
There you go.
There we go, sorry about that. Oh, I paused it again. Resume. Okay, see if I could do this without goofing this up. So hopefully if you watch this later, you don't get dizzy by that. So that I use a Franken account for that style. Actually, I'm going to use it for another song here in a few. But this next song, I love this arrangement that I did. It's a song that if you play from January through October, it's not a Christmas song. And if you wait till November and December, it's a Christmas song. When it's not in season, it's called Green Sleeves. When it's in season, it's called What Child Is This? And I did these little arrangements on this, so I really love playing the song. I can say this is one of the arrangements I'm really, really proud of. It's really simple and very pretty. It uses a style called lullaby. It's a waltz, but you'll see why. And here we go.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that. Pretty. Now, I have to tell you a couple announcements, and I got to play one more final song. This is an important song, too. Very important. Pay very close attention. But some quick announcements. First of all, let me see if I get the right screen here. Google Chrome. Okay, so, all right. So, a couple things. I do want to give a little commercial. Is that okay? Yeah, Robert, please give us a commercial. Boy, they really want to know. So as you know, it's Black Friday weekend, and we have organs on sale up to 75% off. And we're doing something we don't do often, but we're going to take anything on trade that doesn't eat. So ladies, you can't trade in your husbands. They eat. Just want to get that. And actually, Jonah, we've done this kind of thing over the years. Jonah said to me, he says, or anything that didn't eat either. So I want to clarify. Thank you, Jonah, for that. Brilliant. And we have amazing deals. We have easy financing. We have 6 months, same as cash. Of course, we take credit cards and additional discounts for cash or check. So get with your personal assistant. We have some really amazing opportunities on some phenomenal product. Side note, I want to tell everybody that I recently acquired a Aria and a Grand Marquis. So those are very rare. So talk to your PA, contact them, and they have them get in touch with me, and they can give you the details. Secondly, I want to talk about the event of the year, our holiday music camp. If you're not in a local area, we are going to be broadcasting this. But the question I've had asked many times, and I want to make sure everybody hears this, this will not be posted on Patreon, all right? So if you're a Patreon member waiting for it, it will not be posted. However, everybody who does register for the camp, whether they make it or not, they're going to be given a private link to have access to all of the classes that we do record, but you do have to register. If you can't go to a local store, you can watch it online. Ultimately, you'll have access to the recording so you can watch it. All of the class materials are going to be provided, and all of the songs that are going to be featured in the holiday camp is going to be recorded, but there's a bonus. So each of us is featuring a song in the class, in each of our classes. We're going to highlight some features. We're going to design it so that if you have a small organ, you're going to have some take-home value. If you have an intermediate, you will have some take-home value. If you have a large one. But the bonus is they're all recording an extra song, and everybody is will inevitably get a USB, will have a recording of all these songs. If you don't have a USB organ, the songs will play in a car that has USB or a stereo or computer. And all of the songs we recorded last year, there were, give or take, about 14 or 15 songs recorded last year, are also going to be put on this USB. So if you haven't had that yet, if you do, you'll have it again, plus 12 others. So you'll have over probably close to about 25 to 28 songs. 2 of the songs I featured today are going to be on there. So what child is this? And if you have a USB organ, the presets will be available as well. So it's only $49.95. Some people can't make it at all. Inevitably, you'll get the USB with all the materials and a link to go back and watch them. So it's going to be just for people who register. So if you got this email, it'll go out tomorrow. You just click on this, and it'll bring you to a page to pay. If you go to our website, like the virtual classes and events tab or your store location, you'll see it here as a flyer. There's a button here that says register here. If you have any questions, this fax page will come up, and these are the questions. Where can I watch it? Join us in store or online. If you have scheduling conflicts, all of the links will be available to just the registration. It won't be made public. It'll have bonus recordings. If you're newer to the hobby, this is all for newer hobbyists as well as advanced, and for every model. So we're going to try to cover everybody in this at some point. And then if you want to register, just go online or in the email, I have a register here. And once you get that, it'll bring you to a very secure pay page, and you just enter your information, and I get that, and then I update everybody on our in our system so that once everything is done. If you're afar and not in a local area, we're going to email all of the materials a day before, maybe 2 days before if I have it in time, and the day of. But only people that register will get it, those materials. Okay? So one last thing. I'm going to play another song. This is very important this time of the year. I use that same style that I opened up with. I'll bring it up a little bit, and I have a couple other settings because it's called Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I talked to Santa recently, and I asked him, he gave me a list of all of the students at Fletcher Music Centers. Do they deserve another organ? And he gave me a list of naughty and nice students. And coincidentally, everybody here today was on the nice list. No, there's actually one person that was on the naughty list. I won't tell you who you are. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so a little Santa Claus is coming to town, and we'll use Franken to count a couple other settings there. Here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's class. And if you don't remember, just go back and watch it. Look at your notes. But I enjoy happy holidays officially. We're going to start the holiday season. You're going to hear a lot of us doing more Christmas songs and holiday tunes. We got some Christmas parties here locally. I'm going to have our staff do some Christmas concerts during the month of December. For those of you who aren't nearby, locally we'll have some Christmas parties, so stay tuned in as we do all of those. And thank you so much, everybody. And we hope you enjoyed. Stay safe. Keep playing music. And mwah.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
I like the presets of that. Santa is coming to town.